Hello and welcome to this episode of Essex by the Sea. I'm Owen Ward, exploring the Essex coast, finding out about the amazing and interesting stories it has to offer. Don't forget, Essex by the Sea is now available on your smart speakers. All you have to do is tell your device to play Essex by the Sea podcast. For this episode, I'm in the centre of Southend-on-Sea. The high street's just over there, and if you've walked down the high street recently, you'll see a big banner right away across the high street on the railway bridge advertising a new light event taking place in Southend. It's called Southend LuminoCity, and it will be lighting up parts of the city between the 16th and 19th of February. To tell me more about it, I'm joined by Councillor Carole Mulroney, who's the Cabinet Member for Culture and Tourism on Southend Borough Council. Thanks ever so much for joining me here on Essex by the Sea.
Hi Owen, pleasure to be here.
So what will the Southend Lumino be?
Well, LuminoCity, which is the title that we've given the whole exhibition, and it's going to be really, really exciting. It's going to hopefully bring lots of people to Southend between the 16th and the 19th of February. In the doldrum, days when February's not always a good month, and also it's half term, so that's a bonus as well. It's the first ever light festival that Southend has ever put on. Obviously we had the lights years ago down on the seafront, but this is town-wide. It'll be in the high street, round by the forum, it'll be down by the seafront, and there'll be plenty for people to do. And the added bonus is it's completely free, and we just want everybody to come and enjoy Southend.
You mentioned there about it being around Southend, and the old illuminations people might remember being along the seafront. This is very different. These are a bit more arty, aren't they? This is
installations. It's more not just lights along the road. This is going to be specific installations which will be spectacular in their format and in how people can interact with them, which obviously you couldn't really interact with the illuminations.
And they're going to sort of join the town centre part with the seafront as well. Installations going on all over. One of which here outside the forum here in Southend.
Yeah,
it's the first time I visited this as well.
Ah, right. Well, the forum's a great place to come. Obviously it's the library, but also it's our central gallery, and in the middle of town. Although we've got the Beecroft and we've got other galleries, this one is right in the centre. Lots of interesting displays and lots of interesting exhibitions throughout the year. So it is a focal point within the town, hence it's called Focal Point Gallery. But the installations, there will be one here, they will be down the high street itself, turning into the seafront. So it'll be a nice long walk from Victoria Circus all the way down the high streets via the forum down to the seafront. You
say February, all over the winter really, after that Christmas period with the festive lights up and that, our town centres, our city centres and sort of seaside attractions can become a little bit bleak during that period as we await spring and summer to arrive once again. So is the hope that this will draw people into the city? Absolutely.
It is. February is always not a good month for weather and not a good month for going out and things like that. And you've, as you say, you've got over the euphoria of Christmas, and then you're thinking, well, what do I do next before Easter? And what we're saying is come to Southend, because we've got a light show that you won't believe, and you'll enjoy yourself, and it's completely free.
So we talked about these installations. Any sort of hints or clues as to what we might expect to see?
Well, as I say, it's in the form of a trail of installations throughout those areas. There are going to be 9 at the moment. That's the figure we have at the moment. Fantastically large interactive light installations around the town. They're coming from all over the world. We've got them coming from Canada, France, Germany and Israel, as well as UK national ones and also local, which is really brilliant.
I heard there's one actually that's being made right here in Southend. There's got thousands of lights on it.
Well, there you go. You see, we've got talent here as well. So yes, it's great to bring in international and national and local all together, because I think that Southend is a new city, and we want to welcome everybody to our boundaries and to come and say Southend is a place worthy of visiting, and it's a place worthy of being a city.
The old illuminations that people might remember along the seafront, I'm guessing probably the old light bulbs, not very energy efficient. These, I guess, are all LED and quite good on the environment side of things.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's some years since we've had illuminations down on the seafront, and technology and environmental concerns have changed over that period. So the idea here is that this is something which is much more environmentally friendly, for people to understand that you can have a great time and you don't have to burn the world with it, sort of thing.
You're right in that technology's moved on a lot. There might be some people, though, that say, oh, it's a free event, so what's Southend going to benefit from this if it's free? What's the benefit for Southend?
Well, the benefit for Southend is obviously we're just becoming a city. So it's a great way to start off our city year. It's going to be the first of many events throughout the year to celebrate the fact that we are now a city, to remember Sir David Amos's legacy to the city, and to celebrate that. And LuminoCity will start it off. There will be many other things during the course of the year. And obviously, we're a seaside town. We are a tourist destination, and we want people to come along. We want them to enjoy Southend, whatever the event may be that's going on. Enjoy the seafront, enjoy our 7 miles of beaches, the pier, and all the other things that go on in this town, which are based very heavily around the arts and music, but also just fun. Seasides are meant to be fun, and that's what we want Southend to be, is fun for everybody.
You mentioned Southend, its first full year, 2022, as being a city then. What, other than this light festival, perhaps sort of looking ahead towards the summer months, what will encourage people to come to the city and spend their money here in Southend?
Well, we are, as part of the city year going forward, there's quite a few events that are in the pipeline. The first one that will kick it off is on the 13th of February, which is the beginning of the half-term week, which is a concert at the Cliffs Pavilion to commemorate Sir David, and it's a charity concert which all the money will go to the charities that he supported. So that kicks off the week, really. And then you've got LuminoCity. There's also the gang show that week as well, so the Scouts are doing their bit as well. So, and then moving forward over the course of the year, we've got the new pier trains that are starting to run shortly, so that's a big experience for youngsters and older alike with new trains. And then there will be things like the Arts Festival, Music Festival. We had the Street Art Festival last year as well, which I know people are keen to have back again because it was just so magnificent. And then there's the Halloween Parade, which was so successful last year. We had over 34,000 people come just for the evening, which was brilliant. So we want to repeat that. And then obviously there's the lead into Christmas. But in between all of that, there are loads of little groups within Southend, arts, crafts, music, dramatic groups that are putting on shows, displays, and we're keeping a diary of all of these so that will go out on the Visit Southend website, and people can see, well, I've got nothing to do Saturday afternoon, what's going on? Oh, I know, we'll go to Southend. And that's what we want people to do. We want people to see Southend as their first port of call.
So, Carole, lots happening over then the course of the year for people to come to Southend and enjoy the seaside. I guess, though, that like many of our coastal towns, there will be some that say, oh, it's not like it used to be in the old days. What would you say in response to that?
Well, I think to be fair, it is like it used to be in the old days. You can still walk along the seafront, you can still get your candy floss and your ice cream and your chips and your seaside windmill and that type of stuff, and the children can still go on the beach. The beach hasn't changed, it's still there. Buckets and spades are the ready. You only have to see on a hot summer day how many people come down to Southend. But what we now are able to offer is much more. They don't have to stay at the beach if they don't want to. They don't want to. Kids get fed up quickly. If they get fed up, where do we take them? Well, there's plenty of other things to take them, around the town. There's the museum. I know that's not every young child's dream, but there are a lot of good things in there, and there will be events going on. The Arts Festival had a tremendous focus on children, so all of these things, there will hopefully be a young person's element to make people come back. And for the older people that do remember Southend in years gone by, they can still see the same places. They can still go for a ride up the pier on the train and walk back or whatever, and they can still see the Southend that there used to be. So things change and you have to move with the times, but I think we keep enough of the traditional to make sure that the modern fits in with the traditional.
With events like the illuminations that are going to come at February half term, it's nowadays very much a lot of partnership working. It's not the council putting this on, it's the council working with others to put these events on. And one event that we covered here on Essex by the Sea was the very successful hair trail around the town. I know a lot of people that visited Southend specifically to see that, but then of course spent money in the shops, and ultimately that is then good for the city of Southend, isn't it?
It's good for the economy. I mean, everywhere has felt the last 2 years tremendously, but probably seaside towns a little bit more in terms of the fact that, you know, the hospitality industry has been heavily hit, the seafront has been heavily hit, and we know from when lockdowns have been eased how much people want to get back to coming to the seaside. It's just such a big attraction. So those things are really important, and of course when people come, they do spend their hard-earned cash because they want to enjoy themselves. So they will go along the seafront and use the restaurants and the cafes and the pubs and that. They'll come up in town and use the facilities up here. So, and hopefully they'll do it across the borough, because don't forget the city is the borough. So from Lee to Shoebury, we want people, you know, we've got 8 railway stations. We want people to come and they can get off in Lee, then jump on, come into Southend and then go off to Shoebury and see what's up at Shoebury. So there's a tremendous breadth of things that people can go and do in Southend.
Well, Councillor Carole Mulroney, Southend's Cabinet Member for Culture and Tourism, thanks very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Episodes of Essex by the Sea continue to drop on the 1st and 15th of each month. You can also find the podcast across social media as well, so go liking and following on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Until next time, thanks very much for listening.